Hello everybody, this is Steve at Caffeine Injection, and in this video we are going to look at some of the aspects that you need to cover when you first get your website up and running with the simple CMS store included. We're going to go through the first couple of settings options for you. So the first thing you need to do is log into your dashboard. So go to your store page, and you will notice somewhere around the bottom here of the store section there will be a little hidden padlock. There it is there. You click that and that will open your admin page. You log in, which will have already sent you this information I should say, and then that's it, you're in your dashboard. So we've covered a couple of areas in the dashboard previously. The area we're going to focus on in this first options video is the options tab. This is where you set all the configurations and settings up for how your online CMS store is going to work. So we click that tab. We've got a lot of options here. The languages tab we have covered in a previous video. In the languages tab, this is where you change all the text and set your language for your web store. We've covered this in one of the other videos, so if you want to know about that section, go and have a look. The area we're going to look at is in the main options tab, and we're going to cover in this video the general tab and the payments tab. So this, if you've ever worked on any dashboards of any online store system, most of this will be familiar to you. It's all fairly straightforward. They're all fairly generic. So in the first options tab, we have our general settings. This is where we set date, time, day of the week, and so on and so on. So it's fairly self-explanatory. You decide first of all what date format you want. You have an option of many. We've selected this one as it's the most commonly used. Then in the time format, you can select your time zone. You can select your time format. So 24-hour or 12-hour clock. Do you want AM and PM showing? Do you want them capitals? Do you want them small? You can set it however you wish. This section here, use SEO friendly URLs. This makes every product in your, this gives every product in your web store what they call an SEO friendly URL. It means that the name of the product is embedded in the URL. It's really handy for search engine results. So unless you want to have low search engine results, or you don't want your products to be found by the search engines, leave that ticked. Time zone, fairly obvious, select your time zone. Products per page. So this, if we go back to your store, this is where you decide how many products, this area here, there are per page. So at the moment, the products always row up on a full width screen as 4 products. So this we have 8. So if we change this to 12, you have to change it in units of 4. So we click save, go back here and refresh, and you'll notice now we've got 3 rows and so on and so on. You can go up pretty high. You don't want to get too high because it will slow down page load speed. That's page load speeds. 16 is my preferred. We refresh, and then you can see that you've got 4 rows, and I find that works pretty well. So there we go. Select email sending method. It should almost always be left at PHP mail. We host all of these sites ourselves. We have PHP on our servers. It copes really well with PHP mail. So unless you are 100% sure about what you want to do and you need to do things differently, leave it set to that. In the sender's email, this is the email address that all the notification emails that get sent out by the system will appear to have come from. Typically, you need to leave this to be the same email address that is connected to your domain name. So if your domain name is davesclothes.com and your email address will be info@davesclothes.com or something similar, that's what you type in there. We use a different one. We have put a Gmail one in there because we've set this demo site up specifically for this. We don't suggest you put your Gmail account in there. Put your store email in there. So that's your general tab. It's all fairly straightforward. There's nothing there that should be too confusing for anybody. The next tab is the payments. And this is a little bit more complex, but it's still fairly self-explanatory. And this is where you decide which payments you wish to take and how you want your online store to operate. Should you wish your online store to act as an online product catalog with no ordering facility and no payment facility, you check this second box here. Well, actually, we're doing this in the wrong order, so let's work from the top. So the first option, check if you want to disable payments and only collect order details. So what that means is if you only want to take click and collect orders, if there are no payments to be taken, if you don't wish to take money and payments through your website, you just want to gather the purchaser's details so that you can then contact them to arrange collection and payment in store, you would click that. If you want to take online payments, you don't click that. If you want your store to have no order facility whatsoever and simply act as an online product catalog, which a lot of people do, you tick this. You don't have to tick the top one as well, you just tick that one. And that removes all the facility for placing orders and taking customer details and payments, and it only displays the products. So on the demo store, we want neither of those. We take online payments and we operate as a full e-commerce store, so we're going to untick those. The currency is fairly self-explanatory, normally GBP, which is British pounds, but if you work in a different currency, change it there. Add insurance fee for each order. This enables you to add a set fee to every order based on its value. Now, we've added in here the word insurance, but it can be anything. It could be add an admin fee for each order. It could be add a transaction fee for each order. The way that you change this bit of text is in the other video that we have entitled something along the lines of changing the text in your store, and you would do it via the languages tab. So you can change this to describe the purpose of this additional cost however you feel, however you wish. So for instance, if you're going to take PayPal payments and you want to pass on the PayPal charge to your clients, which is normally about 3%, you could change this text here to add transaction fee, and you would put a percentage in there of 3% because that's typically what PayPal charge. If you wanted to add a flat admin fee, say you sell tickets or you sell something that you can justify or you're allowed to charge a booking fee for, you could change the text to say add booking fee, and let's say if it says £5, you put the amount, you change to GBP, and that will automatically add that figure to every order. So it's a pretty versatile feature, the add insurance fee. We just called it insurance because it just seemed a generic word, but you can add whatever. You can change this to whatever you want. On the demo store we don't, so we're not going to put anything there. So next section is allow payments with PayPal. It's a really simple yes or no. If you say yes, you have to type in your PayPal email address. That's it. There's nothing else to do when handing over to PayPal. It's super simple. The URL for web pages where your clients will be directed after PayPal or Authorizenet payment. What this means is if you've ever purchased online and used PayPal, for instance, as a payment gateway, or as the company that takes the payment, what happens is the website that you're on, you'll finish placing the order, you'll pump in all your details, you'll click pay, and it will hand you over. You'll get transferred over to the PayPal website where you'll do all your payments. You will then, once you've paid, you will then get handed back to the website that you made the purchase from. If you want somebody to get handed back to a different page to the one they got handed over with, so normally you'll get handed back to the store page because that's the page you left the original site from. But you'll have probably noticed that sometimes you get handed back to a thank you page saying thank you for your order, or a page where it gives you further instructions. If you want to have that type of page set up, you create the page, or you ask us to create the page, and you put the full URL in there. If you just want it to hand back, if you just want the customer to be handed back to the page that they left before they went off to make the payment with PayPal or Authorize, you leave it blank. If you want them to go to a unique page, you put it in there. I think I've described that okay. All right, so next section, allow payment with Authorize.net. If you have an Authorize.net account and you want to use payments through them, they're just like PayPal. You click that, you type in all your details. Credit cards, if you want to collect credit cards for offline processing, you click that, and the system in the email will send your credit card details. Sorry, it will ask for their credit card details, apologies. If you want to give your customers your bank details so that they can pay by bank transfer, you click there and you can see, you type in, you'd put the name, the account, the sort code, and maybe a reference number. Untick that. And finally, if you want to collect, if you want to allow click and collect, you tick that. Once you've got all your settings right, you click save, go back to your store, do a dummy checkout, make sure everything's working as you'd expect. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. That finishes this video for now, but if you want to see what happens on the checkout form and the shipping and tax page, which is where you set up all your checkout page and you decide upon your shipping and any additional taxes you need to levy, that's in the other video. It is called the checkout and shipping page. For now though, thanks a lot. Cheers.